Summoners, welcome to GXPC Week 4 matchup between SKZ Esports and Elyon Gaming. You know my voice. My name is Hickory. With me is a man of many names. So far today, he's going by Animosity. We'll see if he changes it by the end of the night. How are you doing, Animosity?
It's me, Animosity, back at it again with casting this interesting game between two teams that right now are mid-table, bottom table.
Yeah, absolutely. SKZ right now is sitting at a 3-3 match score, while Elyon is still looking to pick up their first win. Really quick housekeeping: SKZ did have to use a sub, which means they're going to lose a few of their bans. But as we jump into the draft, is there any just first quick bans or picks that you want to just kind of pop out of either team? Any pocket picks, I guess one might say.
Okay, so if I was Elyon, I would probably focus the mid laner and I believe Perona Obsession, the jungler, since those two roles right now can impact an entire game depending on their rotations and their map awareness. Wow. So I expect to see an Orianna ban or a Ryze man from the side of Elyon. And from the side of SKZ, I could see either they can pick or ban the Ryze because it's one of Big Brain Mid's comfort picks. They can go for a Ornn ban since he has a bunch of teamfighting potential, and they can go for either a Jhin or a Lucian ban for the ADC for C95 Sneaky.
Well, so far we have a Gragas, Draven, and Kennen from the side of SKZ, while Elyon is going for the Morgana, Camille, and LeBlanc. We're trying to get rid of that ranged assassin as Akali is the first pick. How do you feel about this for Mr. Dylan as a Zed comes in as the counter? That's going to be a spicy mid lane.
So I don't know about you, but I'm very active while viewing the LCS, and when I saw Bjergsen pop off on that Akali, that just makes everything just a bit more interesting.
I hate to say it, but I'm not certain Dylan is going to be able to pull out a Bjergsen level Akali. However, nonetheless, it's quite interesting and fun to always see an assassin matchup, especially assassin versus assassin. I really, really love it. It's so intense, although I am a bit of a purist myself. You know, I do like the Orianna mid lane, I like the Syndra, but every once in a while dropping these assassins is pretty fun, as the Alistar is picked up for the side of Elyon with a Caitlyn in the return for SKZ. What kind of support do you want to have against this Alistar?
More than likely, since Morgana is banned, you want something that could either peel for your ADC or cancel the CC from Alistar. I would think that a Tahm Kench would be very ideal for SKZ in this pick.
You're mentioning Tahm Kench, but is this a support Shen or a top lane Shen for either Maverick or Laxon?
That's a thing we just got to figure out as the draft goes on. That's a pretty good flex pick to pick.
I really like it as a flex pick personally. Obviously, as you mentioned, we're going to have to see how it goes in the last few seconds as Sejuani is picked for the jungle on the side of Elyon. Nice. Quite a tanky lineup so far for Elyon. I mean, double tanks in both support and jungle. I guess that kind of leaves them open to kind of pick their top laner as they will, does it not?
Mm-hmm. And also here, now SKZ has the liberty of either pinching out Sneaky completely, taking away all his ADCs, or he can, if they actually are going to pick the Shen top lane, they can go and ban some matchups that is not very favorable for Shen.
I believe that SKZ actually does have to go with their last two bans, so they might not be able to pinch out Sneaky as much as they wanted. But at the very least, Draven was banned, as well as Caitlyn obviously picked up, which is 2 carries down for him. But depending on his champion pool, only 2 isn't going to be the massivest of issues for him. What's the last ban, do you think, for Elyon, though, as a potential swap in the top and the support, and a jungle is definitely missing so far?
They might just ban another jungler since they don't know where exactly the Shen is going. Try to pitch out the jungle, especially since they do have the Sejuani picked. Taking away a couple of like super carry junglers, and actually going for a Braum ban. So they're saying that Shen is going to be the top lane. That's
Yeah,
what they're thinking of.
I did like the idea of hedging your bets, kind of going for the jungler, since you're right, we don't know where Shen is going, but it does seem like Elyon is pretty comfortable in thinking that this is a top lane Shen. The next pick or two will probably tell us pretty easily what this is, but keep in mind the Schism is going to come out with the counter pick for basically whatever they really decide as their last man, of course. As I mentioned, does have to go over. I'm sorry, they don't have the counter pick. That's my mistake. It's Elyon that has the final pick. I got myself a little ahead of the game. But we're going to see if I would assume probably the ADC would get picked here, right? And you leave the last pick for your top laner. Actually, as a Rumble gets immediately dropped, the carry in the top with the two tanks, support and jungle. So how does Rumble go into Shen, assuming that this is a top lane Shen?
Okay, so Rumble is a very high ability based top laner. So he won't suffer as much from Shen's W than other top laners that can be mentioned. Like, for example, let me actually think off the top of my head. It's something like, I actually can't think of it. Or Aatrox. Like Aatrox or, oh, but a Kane pick there.
Well, I was
It's
actually
pretty.
well, the hover of Trundle seemed pretty nice against the beefy lineup from Elyon, but why the Kane instead?
So I actually have no clue. Probably to try and assassinate their ADC. And there's the Tom Kench I was talking about. Probably to get into the backline and try to pick out Elyon's AD carry. Maybe he wants to go the assassin route, especially with the Shen. They can like do a pretty nasty combo, which they Kane goes in, Shen follows up with his ult, and that means unkillable assassin on your backline. And there's a Lucian, which is actually a pretty good pick, especially against Shen, which is actually going to be a top lane Shen.
So now that we're seeing these teams kind of match themselves up, how do you feel about each of these draft phases? Who was able to kind of get the most out of it, and which team maybe was a little bit behind in the decision making?
Well, team fight wise, or pick wise, better yet, I think Elyon got this because they have Sejuani with the ulti. That's so much utility from Sejuani. They have the Rumble ult, which is insane amounts of damage if positioned correctly. They have two people. They have Zed that can get into the backline. They have Lucian that normally builds tank shredder. So Tom Kench and Shen should have problems with him, especially since he is a pretty mobile ADC. And they do have an Alistar just in case they can engage and start the fight on their own terms. Or he can actually peel, stay behind with Lucian, and protect him while Shen and Kane are trying to get to him.
So you're thinking that Elyon has a little bit of an edge in the draft. That being said, however, what do you think are some possible win conditions for this Schism draft? Even though they might have not gotten possibly the picks they wanted, how can they use their current team composition against that of Elyon to pick out the first win in this best three?
Okay, so one condition for Schism. Just try to kill the Zed and the Lucian before they can really put any damage out, probably with a assassination of their own with the Kin or the Akali. While Elyon's win condition is to just try to get a pick on them. Try to catch them out on rotations, trying to get objective control, vision control around the map. And just put them as behind as possible. Caitlyn is a real pain to lane with, or lane against, my bad. As she is a very strong lane bully. But honestly, if Zed can rotate after he hits 6, Caitlyn can't really escape other than Tom Kench using his W, so it'll be a battle for cooldowns in the bot lane more than likely. As honestly, Schism's Tom Kench pick was perfect, I believe, against that team comp. Because if any member really gets into a sticky situation, he could just be like, okay, none of that, and just eat them up, especially with the cleanse.
Speaking of the Tom Kench, how do you feel about the double global ultimates on the side of Schism against the not I wouldn't say immobile Elyon, but definitely a lot slower to the rotation? Could that kind of swing potentially like a first tower in the favor of Schism?
It could go for a first tower. It can be for a tower dive. It can be for an disadvantage team fight that they can come back with both of the ultis. So honestly, Schism's team comp relies heavily on rotations. Uh, so I'm sure if they have the right map awareness, the right vision, they can actually take this game pretty easy. While from Elyon, it's more of a peel, try to pick and actually try to assassinate their Caitlyn and the Akali before they can actually put out any damage.
So we got a rotational composition versus a bit of a pick composition. Yeah. Thank you very much for your thoughts as we head into the first match. Right now, however, we're going to send it to a word from our sponsors as we load in the game. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of this broadcast.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate GXPC in Decorah, Iowa. GXPC is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GXPC motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out GXPC and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we're back. Welcome, everybody, to a not a technical issue whatsoever. We're jumping right into the middle of this game. No intros, no level ones. Doesn't really matter. Really quickly, Animosity, as this thing's kind of sweeping up really rapidly. Who's the first blood? Who's it on? Who's getting in? What time?
I think it's going to be first blood either mid or bot lane. Just because
whom on whom at what time? As actually,
right now,
Williams is coming in. Flash forward from Jerd and a knockback. Really good headbutt onto Flaxen, but he's really, really tanky. But a first blood does go to the side of Patty Willens with that nice dash forward from DeLun in the mid lane. And flash forward ignite. That's going to be a kill onto Big Brain mid, I believe, and a solo kill to return a little bit gold behind for the side of Schism, but a nice return kill after that first blood in the bot lane.
Okay, so now my name is my name now is Prediction God, so no, but actually, as I said, it was gonna be a really aggressive bot lane because more than likely Lucian is going to abuse the level 2 power spike. Did not expect the flash Q from the Alistar, but definitely secured them the kill right there and the headbutt backwards to the Tom Kench.
Another taunt from Maverick onto Raynor as a flash forward from Persona Obsession. I don't think he's going to get out of that. He might get hit by the tower. Oh, he does heal just barely off of the wall walk. Very, very impressive. Although he did use the flash, but he was able to burn it on Raynor. I feel good about trading my flash as a jungler for the top laner's flash. Do you not?
Yeah, especially on a champion as mobile as Kayn. It's really good because he can just walk through the wall, not only with his but with his Q, and he just has so much mobility. It doesn't really, it shouldn't really phase him until later stages in the game.
That being said, as we saw, Hadi Williams is also a very, very mobile Sejuani. He's trying to invade on the Gromp, does pop it up really quickly while he knew that Perona, excuse me, not Persona, Perona had to back after that interesting dive in the top lane. What are a few of the first minute kind of objectives of each of these teams? We've seen a lot of aggression so far, but assumedly things will kind of calm down slightly. Who wants to push what side? Are we just all bot? Are we all top? Or are we just kind of seeing what lane wins what?
So this is what I think is going to happen. Since Perona's bot side, because his whole bot side jungle is up, he is going to try and communicate to his bot lane to either let them push or even push harder so he can get that bot lane pressure and try to go for an early Drake. As they're actually rewarding it.
Yeah, he instantly did not pick up his red buff on his first rotation. He went straight top and then backed right after it, so he's going to have it up just about right now when no buff is going to be up for Hadi Williams. That might maybe think about a gank in the bot lane with that red buff slow perhaps, or perhaps that Drake that you were mentioning. We're going to have to see, as Raynor has really kept Maverick under his tower for some time now, but it seems like Maverick's pretty comfortably CSing. He's only one behind, even though he's been under his tower for quite some time. And everything actually pretty equal so far on both sides, despite these kind of early kills and early aggressions.
Right now, Sejuani was seen on the map on bot side because she did walk through 2 wards, the one in Pixel Brush and the one right next to blue buff. So now they know where she's at. They might actually go for either a very big play into the bot lane. They might go to try and kill mid lane, or Kayn is just gonna try and catch her out in her own jungle, as the fight is breaking out in the bot lane.
That is a pretty chunky Laxon there, though. He's not going to take too much damage. He's trying to get a little bit of a ward there. And it looks like Perona has been just kind of trying to live in the opponent jungle for the time being. Nothing's really up. He wasn't able to take the Wolves. He was able to get a nice ward on it, get some more vision, as you had just mentioned. Hadi's been really scouted out pretty well, which can give a lot of comfortability to Carmoni and Laxon, who are pretty pushed in here, but they know that there really is no fear of a dive for them, as well as actually Elyon, who is quite pushed up again on this Akali. But as I mentioned, Big Brain Mint has been able to keep a nice CS lead here. But is that kill going to become a problem for the side of Big Brain Mint, or is it just kind of one lost kill and it's okay as a few trades go back in both top and bot lane?
It honestly depends, because right now, obviously, Elyon is ahead of Zed gold-wise because of that kill. They have basically the same amount of CS, only 3 minutes behind. So that kill is really the only change they have. He did opt to go for the Hex Shrinker first, so he won't get bursted as quickly from the Akali. But honestly, it's still a very skillful matchup, as she actually got a Hexarch Revolver to just try and pop him as soon as possible.
With that Revolver versus the Hex Drinker, as you mentioned, is that a proper buy, I guess, from Big Brain Mint, or should he have gone a little bit more damage heavy to try and return the kill? Dash forward from Sneaky, actually, as Laxon was trying to get a ward, but I think Carmony is going to be okay for now. But back to the mid lane, is Big Brain Mint making the right decision with this Hex Drinker?
Honestly, I think it is a pretty intelligent fight, especially since he did give a kill to the Akali, and since she is really ahead, you just want to cut your losses at that point, realistically. And now that he has the Hex Drinker, he's pretty set to at least take some trades and actually come advantageous over those trades, as Elyon is actually gonna get some vision control on bot side.
So playing safe, not sorry in the mid lane, as actually a 10 CS lead has started to balloon in the top lane for Raynor. I was applauding Maverick earlier, but although he's been trading quite well, he is not CSing as good as he has been previously. And this is a tank versus a carry matchup. Is this going to become a problem for the side of Schism, while we know that Big Brain Mid is going to have to play more and more cautiously and not pop off as much? Is that going to open up Raynor to kind of take over this game a little bit?
Okay, I see it as okay. What Shen should do, his main objective is to try and survive laning phase. Try to wait until after he hits level 6, which he is now level 8, and just try to get advantages throughout the map. As he's actually going to
three-man dive in the top lane. Really nice equalizer right on top of him. Pretty, actually, beautiful dive top lane. Very well traded on the tower aggro, and that might actually lead to a first tower. Possibly the wave is a little bit small here, as it looks like the side of Schism is just all-inning on this Drake. They're not too worried about it. And actually, Jerd is mid lane. He flashes forward, does not get anything. Ignite onto D-Lun, but he gets out. Let's see if Perona is able to turn this around, although he is just going to back out. D-Lun lives with just a sliver of health as a TP from Maverick top lane to see if he can stop this first blood, because Hottie Williams
That's a pretty
did
dangerous
stay. Let's hit the top. You're a little scary, you're right. But unpack those few minutes for me.
So, okay. So from the vision control they had, knowing that they would stay top, Schism opted to go for the dragon. And wait,
actually stays in the mid lane. He uses his Umbral Trespass under, and a nice stand united is going to keep him alive in the mid lane, but that of a taunt onto Hottie Williams, who has returned here to try and turn that. And actually just a really, really nice dive from Perona, Obsession, and Maverick. Really well thought out, but that is that going to give up top lane tower?
So, I believe so. Yeah, top lane tower is going to fall here. So, the advantages of that's what I was trying to explain before the game started. That's just the synergy between Kayn and Shen to actually grab picks into squishy targets is insane. They can dive whoever after level 6, and they would obviously come ahead. As what Schism should be trying to do here is they should actually they lost top tower, so they should get they should probably switch, even though this might be a bit risky. Switch bot lane with top lane. Let Shen go bot lane since they already took down the dragon. So there isn't going to be objective there for 5 minutes. And the bot lane put pressure top lane, so they can actually gain insane amounts of pressure into the Rift Herald.
So, without barring these swaps, you did mention the Drake, but I'm looking at this gold score right now. I'm looking at who got first blood. There's a 1K lead for the side of Elyon, but we've seen kind of different priorities between each team. A lot of top priority for the side of Elyon, and a lot of mid lane priority from Schism. I know it's pretty early in the game, but who's kind of starting to edge out a lead, barring this just kind of small gold lead? Do you think this O2Z is more valuable than the first tower blood?
Okay, so putting Zed behind this as behind as possible, as actually
Raynor is gonna get kind of taunted up here. He drops the equalizer, but he's taking a lot of damage. Umbral Trespass goes out. Should be a pretty easy kill for Perona Obsession. Not sure what was he doing there.
I guess he thought since I already took the tower, I have constant top lane pressure. I can probably just catch out Perona in his jungle, which unfortunately was the wrong move right there.
Wow, dash for perfect execution from D-Lun. I don't think it's gonna be enough damage actually, with just 1 or 2 hits left on Big Red Mid. Didn't pop the ignite, unfortunately.
No,
it's kind of cost him the kill, as some trading goes back and forth. The bot lane eaten up is Jerd. He's taking a lot of damage. He does have to pop his ultimate. Still a pretty tanky boy with the ultimate, but he's pretty weak, and he might have to back out here as the culling is going on to Lax. A nice catch up from Carmony, though, to keep his support alive. There is a sizable CS lead for the Caitlyn here, when I feel like Lucian should have a little bit more priority with the first 2 items.
Yeah, definitely Lucian should have priority with it. He does more damage, but if he can't reach Caitlyn, then obviously he's not going to be able to do much, especially because of her range and just the peel from top Kench. And Perona actually going to take this blue buff, I believe.
Perona he was able to smite out of the way, but now he's going to be in a 2v1, 3v1 as he's trying to get over the wall. I don't think he has his cooldown, so Headbutt Pulverize is going to get him killed by Big Brain Maid. Interestingly enough, Raynor actually decided to steal the blue buff on the top side, allowing Maverick to turn onto him. Maverick actually has a lot of damage right now and might be able to seal this out. Let's see if he has one last taunt. There's no flash on Raynor for a second or two more. Maverick is able to get the kill and the blue buff returned to him. That's the second time Raynor was caught out in the blue side for Schism. What is he doing there constantly?
I think he's trying. He saw that Perona was on the bot side of his jungle, so he thought, hey, maybe I can grab a bit of his jungle. I can grab this blue buff, try to get a little bit of CDR into lane to actually just spam my abilities like every second, and to try and put him even more behind, which than he already is, as the fight is gonna break out of mid lane. Ooh.
Yeah, Stand United is going to drop on to DeLun right before he dies, and a top forward actually is going to get big brain mid. Very, very nice.
So, I haven't really touched on the Neo Kali, but I heard that Shroud is really annoying.
From what I understand, you're able to dash in and out of the Shroud multiple times. Truthfully, I actually played an incredible amount of the old Akali. The previous Akali, I guess is a better way to say it. I very much liked her, and I have not played a single game of Akali, as Jurt is going to be taunted in the mid lane. Nice Pulverize and Ultimate might get him out with the Flash as well. I think that is going to be able to keep him alive. Flash forward from Lax and a little bit aggressive there, and knock up and an eat onto Hottie Williams. That might be the kill. Jerd will go down as the Umble Trespass is going to get a double kill for Perona Obsession. Really quickly, all I was going to say is that I played about 50 to 100 games of the previous Kali.
Oh, but wait. Nikki is in a very dangerous position, but actually Schism is going to back off out of it.
All this time, Raynor has been split pushing, however. Is the kills worth it with a 7-3 and a nice actual Abyssal Voyage will get DeLun up there to stop the split pushing play.
Okay, so as I said in the beginning, Schism is actually playing to their strengths. They're creating a lot of pressure by roaming everywhere, by never like standing still in the lane, never like, let me just farm, or let me actually just pressure bot lane. No, every single member of them are rotating to try and help either their jungler, their mid laner, Maverick with a bunch of good ults onto both DeLun and Perona, saving them multiple times, and it's just been a pretty solid game by him.
Well, I had asked you, I think before the break, about the global ability of Schism, and the proof is kind of in the pudding here with a 2-1-4 Maverick right now. That Stand United has kept multiple players on Schism, particularly Perona and DeLun, away from death on probably 3 occasions at the very least, and almost every single occasion has led to at least 1 kill. Perona most recently getting a double kill mid lane. With this much pressure, with about a 1k gold lead, which is about a 2k swing from the early part of the game, is this going to open them up for a little bit more map pressure, as they have picked up both a Mountain Drake and a Cloud Drake? Are they starting to work their way towards this Rift Herald to probably knock open the mid lane?
So now they set DeLun bot lane.
DeLun is bot, and he jumps forward with the first perfect execution, holds on the second one, drops the second perfect execution. Actually, an equalizer's on top of him. Very long. He doesn't stand, and it's going to force out the Stand United. I think that was a little bit misplayed, as the Heba Pulverized in the mid lane is on to Carmine. He has to flash away as the Umbral Press Fast returns for Perona. All of a sudden, Maverick is teleported in, and Perona gets a kill out, and eat on to Jerd is probably going to get him killed. He pops a stopwatch, only going to delay the inevitable, and headbutt forward on Lax, and he is too beefy right now. A little bit of a misplay maybe in the bot lane, but an over-aggressive Jerd seems to have kind of swung it back in the favor of the Schism boys.
Maverick with an amazing TP and just amazing. He ults down into bot lane to save DeLun from actually dying to Raynor with the equalizer. While after that, he notices, okay, my mid lane is safe. I can like go back. I can do whatever I want. So he TPs into mid lane to actually turn the fight against Elyon on its head. So definitely like amazingly played from Schism right there, from Maverick specifically. And just nice map awareness, nice rotations coming from them, and that's going to be Rift Herald to them now.
Easy Rift Herald pickup. You mentioned Maverick. He's now at 8 of 9 kills right now. He hasn't backed in a very long time. He's looking towards 2k gold in his pocket. He's going to be a pretty tanky top laner who did go to the Titanic. Does that mean he's going to be split pushing, even though we've seen him in team fights almost constantly?
I mean, if you do notice that every time he actually used either his ult or his TP to actually get there, so he has the liberty of split pushing. It's just that he obviously has to keep being as active as he is on all around the map to actually carry this game for them, as he's gonna get caught out here.
Yeah, Equalizer in the bot lane with both Raynor and Hottie Williams trying to take him down, but he's actually really, really tanky. He's taking a lot of damage, as the Abyssal Warriors will probably get that away. The Death Note on Big Brain mid. He was trying to outplay, but the Perona Obsession and D-Lun duo is way too much damage on this 1 and 4 Zed, who's barely been able to get past a 1.5 items right now. The Rift Herald will be summoned in the top lane really quickly. No, it's a bad item. I don't want to talk about it. But moving forward on what Hottie Williams probably shouldn't buy, where is the tankiness from this really tanky lineup?
I don't really know. Like, Renner, obviously he is an off tank, so he's not really going to build tanky. I saw block there from
Maverick
him.
might actually be able to get another solo kill here. See if the taunt. He does have the final taunt. One more smack onto Raynor. Drops him. That's the second solo kill, I believe, for Maverick onto Raynor. As you mentioned, it's weird that this seemingly tanky composition is taking so much damage, as a second or third Rift Herald charge was able to take up the first tower, the second tower top, and actually charge into the tier 3, as the tier 2 tower does drop mid lane. I was actually just moments ago going to ask you if all these kills for Schism were able to turn into anything like a flash forward headbutt pulverized from Jerd. And actually, Laxton's going to have to pop the gray health here pretty soon. He's stunned up with the stand unite. It's going to keep him alive. Hottie Williams is not tanky enough. A dash forward from both Maverick and Perona, but here comes Big Brain mid. He doesn't get a kill. He does actually kill Carmony at the very end. The Equalizers really doesn't go on anyone, but Perona doesn't have a lot of places to go out. He does die. So far, it's a 2-4-3, but a flash forward and the dash forward from D-Lun. Does he get it? He gets one kill with the perfect execution. He puts up his pretty little cloud thing. I forgot the name, sorry, but Raynor was able to kill the kill. 3-4-3. That's another shutdown, actually, from Maverick. 4-for-3, a delayed ace for the side of Schism.
Yeah, and
what just happened?
okay, well, what happened was a huge fight breaking out because of Jerd going in, trying to catch out the Caitlyn, but actually ends up headbutting her away. So that's when everything just... They try to grab onto the Tahm Kench, but Maverick just ults him and basically takes away any chance of actually killing him. While afterwards, Perona, it goes in, gets a double kill by focusing on the backline, as I was saying. Gets a kill on Zed, I believe, who backed off like right after killing Carmony, and then basically makes them focus him, while the others either get back, try to get them anyway pushing in so they can actually force a dive, which is what D-Lun did. Got the kill on Sneaky, and then did a bit of damage to Ranner, even though he didn't kill him. But it was a really weird fight for Schism right there.
They seem to get a little bit big for their britches, and that actually is kind of my question. We're seeing a lot of team fight prowess from this team Schism, but they got a little bit too aggressive as the shadow step forward from Perona doesn't really find anything. Is the big for their britches? The bullet does hit on the deal and he gets eaten up. Where did that equalizer just go? As Big Brain mid goes as far forward as he can and immediately steps back. I think we should probably back up here. But is that too big for the britches on Schism? The reason they're 0-6 right now, or is it maybe they're just have a better look today than they have in previous days?
I don't know. No,
Rona actually does have to unblock Trespass, try to get some of his health back. It's going to leave Raynor out to dry. He gets eaten up as a headbutt pulverized from Jerk goes out. Raynor does die for the 5th time, unfortunately, but so does Carmony. Kind of caught out against Big Brain mid as Maverick has kind of left him out to dry to dive in with Elyon. The dash forward on the assassination, one assassination, double kill for Elyon. He's looking for the triple as he gets under the tower, but actually he's taking a lot of tower damage right now, and he might have to back up. Maverick's going to give him a little bit of help here. Looking for the ace in the hole, pun intended, as the mid lane inhibitor does go down for the side of Schism. They're still chasing Big Brain mid, so they maybe have backed off by now with potential objective to get. And Maverick's actually trying to duel Big Brain mid right now. Ignite is almost up, actually, but the taunt forward, and that's going to be a smack, and a death for Big Brain mid, not a death mark.
Okay, to justify them chasing so far for Big Brain mid is, I'm gonna say it was so they can so he couldn't back and try to make a hero play to try to save the inhibitor and make the rest of Schism back. Also, reminder that Akali's new Shroud makes her invisible to towers too.
Yes.
So, yeah, she wasn't taking tower
even
damage.
dashing back into it still makes you invisible to. Why have I not played new Akali?
Yeah, me neither. She sounds fun, actually.
That's a question for another time, potentially tonight, as Elyon is going to pick up the blue buff. Like I said, she was my main for a while, so I'm not really certain why I haven't. I think I'm just a grumpy old man who doesn't like change.
Yeah.
But how are we feeling with the situation in this game right now? Is a Baron on the mark for Schism, as they do have double Cloud and a Mountain Drake, and potentially Raynor's going to get caught out here, although there's not a lot of CC on the side of Carmony outside of the net. Raynor is going to be able to back it up to his tower, probably. He is going to walk it out. But is Baron on their minds, or they just want to keep forcing with the double inhibitor down top and mid lane?
Okay, so this is what I would do if I was Schism. I send Maverick bot lane. Put a lot of, let him split push, get a lot of pressure bot lane, probably get 1 or 2 people there. Then I would rush to the Baron. They have a Mountain Drake, even though it's not that much, it's only 1 Mountain Drake. They can actually still burst it. They can actually put a lot of damage forward and just snowball the game. Or they can do what they're doing now, which is basically
Maverick's actually just kind of standing in the middle of Elyon. That was a little bit odd, but an incredible amount of damage onto Big Brain. He's going to dash out, and actually he gets away from the ace in the hole. Really, really nice use of his Shadow Step and his Death Mark, but I think he might not get away, as Elyon and Perona are just running rampant in this base. They have almost a 15k gold lead at this point. They are cleaning house. Elyon is kind of stunting on them with his stasis in the middle, and I think this is going to be the first win pretty easily for the side of Schism. A 25-minute win with almost a 15k gold lead. Very, very impressive game 1. Can you kind of unpack the last few minutes there? What really went wrong for the team Elyon, who had the first tower blood?
Okay. Lack of rotations, lack of actually playing to their team's strength. They didn't really go for picks. They went for like top lane pressure, even though that was the lane that shouldn't have been pressured. Rumble is a lane bully, so he would have pressure to it. While on the side of Schism, all they really needed to do was like, okay, we survived laning phase, okay, everyone's good, now let's clean house, which is what they did. They actually got ahead because of it. They got several kills because of Maverick, and honestly, my MVP for game 1 has to be Maverick after that performance on Shen.
Awesome. Great plays from Maverick. We're going to kick it to a quick break before we get into the draft of the second game. Thank you very much for throwing things a little bit more knowledgeable on us. See you guys in a few moments. Hallo Leute und willkommen zum Spiele 2. Schism Esports ve Elyon Gaming. Ich heiße Hickory und mein Freund ist Anamaste. Hallo Anamaste, wie geht's?
Bienvenidos al juego y hoy vemos que es una historia interesante entre estos dos. Entonces, what we're gonna see is game number 2 from Schism versus Elyon Gaming. So
It was
should
a
be
very interesting game. I really, really enjoyed the first game. I also really enjoyed the diatribe there. I appreciate that you dropped in with me. However, we are down 1 as the side of Elyon Gaming. How do we bring it back for this second game? Is it a draft composition issue? Is it a team play composition issue? You did say you liked Elyon's draft a little bit better. So not what went wrong with last game. Last game's already over. Who cares? It's fine. What is going to go right in this game?
I think what they should do for this game is they should actually try and pressure bot lane more, since if I'm not mistaken that looked like the weakest lane for Schism. And like try to focus that, try to pick like a hyper carry, something like either a Kaisa or even a Tristana or something of the sort. To actually like, okay, we're gonna put all our resources into the ADC, into our bot lane, try to get them ahead, and then let them carry us into that victory screen. Probably pick like either high mobility mid laner, since leave the Kali open, try to go for something that can actually sustain more than actually put out damage. And
what does sustain versus Akali?
Well, there's the Galio that has been seen pro play again. There's something that could be like a Rise that has an inbuilt shield, probably with a barrier would be good. Trying to go for both that rotation and for some sustain. There's also champions that could just really punish her with range, and that can actually get away easy.
So before we get to the mid lane, Raynor wants to get rid of that Shen, it looks like. Shen did run rampant. Maverick was all over the map. I believe he only died 1 time, even though he had upwards of an 80% kill participation. Does the top lane need to be focused at all, or is Maverick going to be comfortable on any pick they put him on, or is it a Shen that he's looking for so much?
Okay, so what they're doing is they're taking away all the rotations. They notice that they do have good rotations, that they do have good map awareness, so they're just gonna like punish them, gonna take away some of the picks that can impact the whole map. While Elyon, I think, or Raynor is probably gonna go for something more team fighty, I believe, this game. And the top laner for Schism, Maverick. I actually have no idea what he's gonna play, to be honest. I think he might try to go for something like a Shen, something that can actually roam still. So probably like what's a champion? He can either go for another bruiser actually, or he can go for something more of a off tank and try to put the same amount of pressure top lane instead of quick rotations like he did with Shen.
So interestingly enough, D-Line does ban the Akali, probably because he doesn't have the first pick on it. But do you think it would have been okay for them to leave it open and see if they could have gotten on the second rotation, or would Big Brain Mid, having shown the talent last game, gone for it for a first pick, as Rakan has picked up first pick? But that does leave Schism with the ability to pick up the Xayah and break up the Lovers duo.
Okay, so Rakan, this is something that I have been that's been picking my brain for a while. If you're blue side and you have to grab like one of the two, which would you pick? Normally, back when they were actually released, it was the Xayah, since it was a priority. She was a much better solo ADC than Rakan was a solo support. But actually now with the recent buffs towards Rakan, it's actually more beneficial for you to first pick it rather than Azaya.
So it's
and has more
okay
pressure.
to lose on the Xayah in the Lovers Duo, is what you're telling me, as an Orin is picked up.
It's preferable to have both,
Yes.
but if you had to pick one, it would be more beneficial to your team to pick the Rakan first.
Okay, we did see Jerd really willing and able to dive into the enemy team last time, so maybe with quickness he'll be a little bit more available, as much as Draven is available to dive in and get some nice kills picked up for Hottie Williams. As a quick update, a little bit of an interesting stat here. Looks like Schism Esports has 33% of the betting stats, while Elyon Gaming has a 67% betting from the viewers. Very, very heavily favored is Elyon Gaming in this next matchup. Looks like people really want to see a solid best of 3 coming up.
Ooh, the Orianna. So this was a pick that I wanted to see from Schism first game, the Orianna, and actually, Maverick taking away Ranner's pick here with the Ornn actually is very interesting. They have a very strong team fighting just with the 3 picks they do have right now. While what Elyon has is a bunch of like strong solo laners, strong lane bullies that will, what they're gonna do is try to pressure every lane, try to put a lot of damage forward, especially with the Draven. And with the Gangplank, they're probably gonna try and pick maybe a hard tank jungler. So
Perhaps
they
the
could
Trundle
go
this
for
time.
yeah, no, not exactly a Trundle, but they can they can repick the Sejuani. They can pick who was it? They can actually pick, even though this is very far-fetched, I saw it the other day in a game and I got excited. They could have picked a Moo since he recently got buffed.
Interesting.
And there's like there's like just a hard tank jungler. They could have picked the Trundle for the Ornn, but then that would leave a lot like very little tankiness for their team. Probably go with
the Gangplank at top and the Rakan support. The last ban for Schism, or Elyon, excuse me, was Graves picking out that jungler. What are you trying to see from a Schism to go with this Orianna Ornn? We do have a lot of team fights set up. Do we need another team fighting jungler or maybe an early game jungler?
If we're lucky, only if we're lucky, I want to see a Rengar in that. Either a Rengar or a Kyle.
The kitty cat is pretty good at dropping the ball on his having the ball on his hat. The Zed actually is picked up for Big Brain mid once again into D-Len's Orianna. As we do, and I mentioned multiple times, get closer to World's meta, I just feel like the Orianna gets better and better, as well as the Ornn gets better and better, because World's meta is, of course, tank top, mage mid, and ADC crit in the bot lane. But the Trundle is picked up, as we were possibly mentioning. You're right, it's not a very tanky composition outside of that Subjugate, but that's really only if the Subjugate hits the proper target, that is Ornn.
They only have one off tank, and like, so I'm gonna actually change what I said. They do not want to get into late game. They get into late game, they straight up lose because of their lack of a tank. They have the Trundle that can shred Ornn, but realistically, he can't tank that much damage. He is an off tank. While what they're gonna try to do is, since they have 3 lane bullies, and obviously Rakan with the quickness can like catch out people, what they're gonna try and do is pressure every lane, try to make Perona lose his mind, not knowing where to go, and try to go like for an early game snowball into late game like destruction by them. And
so last game, I don't think I gave you enough time to think about this, so I really want to hash it out this game. What is your bet, very importantly, sir, for the first blood on whom at what time in the game?
Okay, so first blood is probably gonna be either Big Brain to D-Len.
No, probably.
Okay, I think.
No, yeah, no.
Oh, so you want me?
You
Okay.
know.
I know
Yes.
that it's gonna be this is Big Brain to Elyon
At what
because
time?
at I say once Zed hits level 3. When they both
That's
hit level
maybe
3,
like
that's
what,
4 or 5
4:30 or
minutes.
something like that.
Yeah.
So Big Brain Mid will get the first blood on D-Lun playing the Oriana at 4 minutes and 30, let's call it 5 seconds.
Mhm.
I'm going to hold you to that. If you fail the bet, you will be shamed for it by the entire stream and all the staff that is Games XPC. No pressure whatsoever. But aside from the first blood, because first blood is more for show than anything, who do you think is winning this matchup? Who won this draft? Is this a 2-0? Are we going to see the comeback started from Elyon Gaming?
Okay, I saw the Elyon Gaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Games XP's Championship Week 4 between Schism Esports and Elyon Gaming. Very sorry about the delays that we're running into, but we should be all good to go so far. Animosity, I think we kind of lost the end of your de-packing of this draft. Can you kind of run me through just a few of the really quick talking points about both these teams?
Okay, Schism's team fighting is insane because of the Ornn, because of the Jax jumping in with the Oriana ball. The self-peel from Xayah is really good, especially against both Zed and GP. And realistically, I think Schism should 2-0 this game.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the the quick and easy de-packing as everyone's just kind of sitting on the line of scrimmage. Nothing so far too interesting and not looking like any invades really this game. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see the first few seconds of last game, but I would doubt anything had to come from it. As well as anything coming from this game. I believe you had said a first blood for Big Brain Mid onto D-Lun at 4 minutes and 35 seconds. However, I have a stat for you. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
D-Lun has a 77% win rating on Oriana in ranked play right now. That is a monstrous win rate for any player who is able to get his absolute comfort pick for this matchup. He did play the Akali previously and utterly dominated on it, and now we get to see him on an even better player. Was that a bit of a missed draft from the side of Elyon, or do they have a plan?
Actually, as we see, there's
Hottie Williams actually is in the bot lane. He doesn't get the pillar just yet. Flash forward, nicely timed. The pillar probably was a little bit delayed there, wasn't it?
Yeah, a tiny bit. But did you see that Draven Conquer proc right there? That
I did not.
So much damage to Jared on the brand.
I look at flashy pictures. I'm sorry, I don't look at damage numbers. I like colors. As Perona is trying to duel this jungler as well, he does get the stun up, but dashing forward is Big Brain Mid, not going to be able to get the kill just so far as the Q does go out for D-Lun. He's just trying to poke a little bit to protect Perona, who did take a lot of damage there and probably will lose the Scuttle Crab as well.
I'm very interesting to see D-Lun start corrupting pots. Mostly for the sustain and for the mana regen, but like, wouldn't you much prefer Doran's Ring, especially with the new passive change? Well, not new.
As Hottie Williams does get engaged on trying to get for this second Scuttle Crab, he might actually go down here. If nice smite for Perona Obsession is going to be able to take the Scuttle Crab. But here comes Big Brain Mid. He was able to rotate faster. Knight onto Perona. He's going to go down. No one's done just yet. And actually a dash forward from Big Brain, flash forward from Maverick. Another flash forward from D-Lun. So many flashes getting used, but no one goes down. What I was going to say is that supposing he's doing the new mid lane build with Corrupting Potion, what is it called? The talent that gives you benefits from pots. I don't remember what it's called. And
Time Warp?
Yeah, Time Warp and Biscuits, then I would like it, but if he's not doing it, then I would hate it. Personally, I do like the Time Warp tonic. This gets a little bit better as a dash forward from Maverick, who is winning, but a nice stun in the bot lane. Could be first blood for Carmony. Is picked up pretty easily. You were quite wrong, both time and on who. Carmony does get the win of these kind of early trades when actually Laxa did have to burn his flash earlier in the game. And actually, it might get another kill here. No, it just gets a little bit of damage back as the feathers fly out, and some trading back and forth. Or D-Lun still haven't been able to see. I don't think he has taken the time warp tonic, so I'm not so sure about it. As a very, very low mana Orianna is getting the help of his mid laner. So far, a pretty explosive early game.
Then what did he go? Did he go the boot? Did he go magical footwear? Or no, wait, commencing stopwatch is. Oh, but wait.
A stun onto Big Brain mid. Really nicely timed, but again, Delentil has very, very little mana. And wow, that was an incredible amount of damage from the Prestige attack proc from Perona Obsession, who is getting returned damage on from Hottie Williams. Actually, no, he will back off as the teleport is burned, I believe, by Maverick, who just walked it back in the lane. With 10 CS down, why did he not teleport back?
Okay, so he didn't teleport back because of the positioning of the minion. Like, he didn't lose a single minion. If you notice, there is 12, I believe, minions, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
Yeah, 12 minions. So he didn't really need into. He instead created pressure mid lane with that TP to get them off of Perona on this Shax.
He potentially kept his jungler safe for the time being while sacrificing a little bit of CS. He's not perfectly hitting under tower. He's going to be about 6 gold down to the grasp at least. Gangplank. He's not going to be losing too much gold in this position. We saw Maverick really start to take control of last game on a bit of a more aggressive top laner. Not maybe a Darius per se, but Ornn, I wouldn't call a very Shen aggressive. Would you?
Shen is more of a, okay, I survived. Is everything good? Oh, my mid laner's dying. Let me do Shen stuff.
As a pillar does drop onto D-Lun, he has his barrier if he needs it. No flash, but he's able to walk out. Only level 3 for Hottie Williams so far. About a level down on Perona Obsession, and at least a full camp down. Should he keep focusing this mid lane, or does he need to catch up, or is it okay because he's the tank and who cares about tanks? The flash forward from Jerd completely misses everything. Carmony's going to be pretty easily able to pick up that kill while Jerd gets the return kill with his Ignite. Unfortunately, doesn't go on to Sneaky. A 1-for-1 on the supports, but it looks like it went the way of Carmony.
So, this is the good, as a Draven main. Actually, I'm a Kai'Sa main, but as a Draven player myself.
Draven player.
There's so much good with Draven, which is on the side of the damage. Oh, as Renner
does go top lane. Here's Perona Obsession just going to easily pick up a kill top lane. Maverick's going to take it up pretty easily, picked up by the top and jungle duo. They did almost the exact same thing last game, did they not?
They're just going to put pressure top lane as the Gangplank ult is going to go down and is going to clear that many. So,
yeah, the ult will clear it up, but I misspoke. That's an exact opposite of what happened previous game.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Yeah, Elyon did the exact same thing. Although Elyon was able to pick up the first tower because of that, and I think some kills bot lane. So it's not going to be as big of a pickup for Schism, but Maverick is pretty comfortable and on his way to potentially the Iceborne Gauntlet.
So the problem with Draven, right, especially in this lane, especially in a brand lane, is that your brand, right? You know where Draven's gonna be. He is going to try and catch that axe no matter what. So what you need to do is just time your combo once the axe drops, which is pretty predictable. So that's what's good in brand, especially in this matchup, and that's what's good with very pokey burst damage supports against the Draven. So I believe that Draven, what's gonna happen with Draven is he's gonna fall really, really behind, and that's gonna cause a lot of problems to Elyon.
Almost 20 CS behind, 8 minutes in the game seems pretty far behind to me so far. A grand entrance from Jerd earlier didn't feel too comfortable, even though his headbutt pulverizers were pretty nice previous game. He's a little uncomfortable as he does grand entrance onto Laxon, but actually a flash forward from Carmody. He's feeling it right now, 2 up, but here comes Hottie Williams as the feathers fly. No one dead just yet. Looks like Jordan might go down to Laxon's passive. But see, Carmody and Laxon are able to walk out, a flash forward, and a ball delivery from Perona gets an easy kill. Once again, a 3rd kill picked up in the bot lane. Carmody is 3-0-2 with that roam from D-Lun, but here comes Big Brain mid. He might be able to get a return kill with the death mark. He gets a double kill, actually, on D-Lun and Perona. Who won there?
Schism. Schism got 3 for 2, and they're gonna trade a bunch of damage to the bot tower. They're actually going to get first.
I believe they also gave full gold to Carmody. It looked like Laxon was out of position, or was away enough for the full gold.
Carmody got a kill and 2 assists, I believe. Though, okay, so Carmody got 2 assists from, got all the CS, and got the first help. So she's packing. As we see, she was gonna go for the Essence Reaver, but then she was like, you know what? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna actually build. I'm gonna build something from this patch, and I'm gonna actually build the Storm Razor.
It is no longer 8.11. If we switch over, Mr. Observer Man, to gold really quickly, we see an over 2K gold lead for the side of Carmody, which is 2/3 of the 3,000 gold lead for the side of Schism. Now, that is an extremely strong Xayah in the bot lane, but as I mentioned, that almost the entirety, in fact, pretty much all of the gold lead is sitting on this bot lane with another 500 lead for the side of Laxon. Is this a benefit or is a liability if Hottie was able to shut this down?
Okay, so this is what I said that Elyon should do, and Schism literally just tore the page and said, you know what, since they can't do it, we're gonna do it. They're gonna put their resources into the ADC. Zed can't touch Xayah, realistically, because Zed ults, Xayah ults, and there, it's like, it's done. People are gonna get onto the Zed before he can put any through, and Zed's gonna get out there without any hassle. Wow.
D-Lun and Big Brain mid were trading in the mid lane. A couple ults passed by, but nothing too much outside of that. I think they might have potentially overestimated their kill pressure, or they're just kind of showing each other what's what, as the top lane tower is going to go down to the side of Perona and Maverick. Unfortunately, they were able to bully Raynor out of the way. That's 2 turrets and a 4K gold lead in 11 minutes. What does Ellie need to do to stop this? Bleeding, rather.
They honestly just need to, like, destroy Xayah. Like, make this game not fun for her at all from this point forward. Catch her out on rotations. Word around, trying to get the objectives, and
full rotation and an ultimate onto Hottie Williams. I don't know if it's going to be enough, as Laxon got a little bit aggressive there, but the Rift Herald mid is going to guarantee a 3rd tower for the side of Schism. Unfortunate that Laxon got a little big for his britches, but I think he actually was able to guarantee the kill at the very end of it, potentially with his Ignite.
The Ignite did help, but the red buff finished off the job. He hit the red buff, or no, actually I believe, did Trundle smite it? I believe Trundle smited the red buff to try and get some health back, and actually it ended up being the death of him. So
I know, Mr. I'm a Cutie Pie, that you're an ADC main, but when you're playing as aggressive support like Brand, is a trade like that worth it, or is it just gold going back into the pocket of the opponent team when you already have the gold lead? Do you want to really be giving that up? I know, I'm a Cutie Pie, I know you're an ADC, I know, but just put your mind in a support for a moment. Was that really worth it? They did get the Drake, sure, but do we need to be giving gold to this opponent team?
Come on, man. Honestly,
Call the Force Guard does go on the top lane onto Raynor. A little bit of a damage back. Maverick actually is dashing forward for this. Flash is up for both top laners. I'm not sure that this is going to be a kill just yet. Actually, he's not getting from, and a flash forward from both of them, and it looks like Rainer's going to get away just by the skin of his orange. Unfortunately, Maverick is going to have the distance to catch up to him as a pretty speedy boy. A big trade coming out from this tank, really bullying what seems like a tank bully.
So I don't know. I don't play that much top lane, but from a GP main that I've been friends with for years, he says that honestly, if you're against the tank, you're better off going the kleptomancy stuff. Because you honestly get like free Qs basically because of the range advantage. You only opt to take the grasp into unfavorable matchups, which I guess.
Speaking of an unfavorable matchup, mid lane shadow swap forward with the death mark on to Lax. He actually does survive surprisingly. He throws the Pyroclasm, which is going to hit Jerd, stun him up. Jerd goes golden, but with a sliver of health, he's going to easily go down Perona. Maybe should have given that over to Dylan. Not so sure
like
about that. Yeah, a little bit interesting. Rainer actually might have gotten caught up position here. Carmony is extremely powerful right now. 3-0 and 2 on this Zaya, but I don't think he can run him down just yet, as Hottie Williams and this low health big brain mid are really trying to slow down this tier 3, but actually a flash out from possession as he gets a pretty easy kill with the E, but he's stuck out in no man's zone. That's a shutdown for the Rainer, who has been a little bit low on health, and a flash forward from Hottie Williams onto Dylan. Not going to turn out too much as Sneaky's trying to get as much damage. Again, a root from Carmony's going to be a kill. Feathers fly as a quickness jump out from Jerd, trying to help out C9 Snaky, but I think actually Jerd might just go down to minion aggro, potentially. A lot of kills going through. Call the Forge God. Here comes Maverick. Another knockup on to C9 Snaky. The delayed triple for Carmony. A 6-0 and 2 pseudo hyper carry Zaya. At 15 minutes into the game, he is feeling it so hard, and Shockwave was never even used.
He flashed in. He could have flashed. He literally could have flashed forward, flashed in the straight line, and then he would have probably died to the Ornn and not to Carmony. But he flashed.
Shockwave onto Big Brain mid. He uses his death step to try and get out, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough. Death mark, and does die as Dylan. Oh no, Carmony might just go down. That's a really, really big shutdown if they can get it. Oh no, he does pop the heal, and the dissonance is gonna get him away. Dylan might be trading his life for that though. Actually, a stun really easily hits onto Hottie Williams. A flash away from Dylan. I can't believe he held his flash that long as a double kill goes for Laxon. 15 and 5 is the scoreboard. Can't believe Dylan and Carmony was able to get out of that. And I actually can't believe Dylan not only held his Shockwave so long, he held his flash until the very last second there.
Indeed. I honestly, that fight was so chaotic. I actually don't know what to say other than they left. The problem with the fight, with the start of the fight, when Jerd died for the second time in that because he died a total of 3 times, I believe, in that fight alone.
Yes, he did. He's died first, then he died in the re-engagement, and then he died in the chase.
So, okay. Everything went well with the quickness. It was honestly an amazing. They caught out Carmony completely. What went downhill was that Draven dropped both of his axes. So that's all the damage from Draven just got there. They couldn't secure the kill, and that literally made it so Zaya can just turn the fight around just by herself.
Jerd almost gets caught out again, but actually Dylan is the one kind of caught out, but completely misses. Utterly outplayed by Big Brain mid. He gets the solo kill pretty easily. 4-2 on the Zed versus the 1-2 superstar Orianna. Where has Orianna been? As the Call of the Forge God is onto Jerd. The quickness tried to knock out Maverick, but actually, unfortunately, Rainer is going to be kind of maybe not pulled out of position here in a solo. Will he get stunned? He will by Perona, who is able to win that 1v1, just barely edges it out. And somehow Big Brain Mid is backing behind enemy lines. The tier 3 mid is going to go down for the side of Schism. Starting to kind of play with their food here a little bit. Are they going to get too big for their britches and start to throw this 10k gold lead that they have?
Nah, they're just having fun. Game good. The stronger they become still. Zed falls off into late game. Gangplank scales, but they don't have a tank. They have an off tank in Trundle, but that's really it. They have insane amounts of damage and team fighting from the side of Schism with the Oriana ball, with the pick potential from the Jax, and with both Brand and Zaya and the Ornold, Call of the Forge God. So that's like, they are allowed to do this right now. They're 10k. They have a 10k gold lead. It's mostly on their carry. So realistically, all they need to do is just wait out for the Baron, which is up in 30 seconds, get that, and they can easily win.
Either 10k gold lead is mainly on Carmony. He's at 9,878 gold compared to the 5,500 gold of C9 Sneaky. Now, I might be mistaken, but I thought C9 Sneaky was a pretty high tier LCS player right now, but he's pretty far behind in the gold lead of this game, as both top laners are duking it out in the bot lane.
Looking like C9 Academy Sneaky, that's what he's looking like. As there's gonna be a bit of a scuffle here in the bot lane between both Maverick and Ranner.
Raynor is trying his darndest versus this 1-up level Maverick. He's really trying to get some pressure for his team on the map as Schism's starting to kind of look their way towards Baron. They're clearing out Vision. Big Brain Mid almost goes down in the top lane, but a quickness on the Maverick. They might be able to pick out this split pushing Ornn, who does call the forward guard. He's not going to be able to return it. He gets oh my god, he just barely gets the clip end of it. That's going to be the first kill on Raynor. Maverick gets a 1v2. Is he going to dash forward? He doesn't get the knockup on to Jerd, who dashes away. Getting a kill in a 1v2 is going to give a Baron easily for the side at Schism.
And that's gonna, honestly, like, that's gonna be. Okay, so this is the problem, right? They go for the Ornn.
A flash forward from C9 Sneaky. He's starting to get mad. He drops the ultimate, but he doesn't get execution, and the pillar does get a nice shutdown for C9 Sneaky. A lot of gold back in the pocket of the ADC. Up, it actually put him up at 1,000 gold up, and the death. Whoa, for Big Brain Mid. Unfortunately, it's the second or the third time the death mark has just not been enough for him. Perona Obsession is very, very strong this game. We haven't really been mentioning him as much in the previous few minutes, but he's actually 5-2 right now. He's able to immediately smash through the tier 3 in the mid lane with the Baron buff. They haven't even reset from this Baron buff, have they yet? As Perona Obsession actually is just standing in the attacks of C9 Sneaky right now, not taking a lot of damage just yet. He's feeling pretty strong right now, even though he has no tank stats. A teleport in the middle of their base from Maverick. He does not have the Ornn Horn though, but a stun and a huge shockwave hits on 2. A double kill for Perona Obsession. He's going for more. He does get shut down. There's the Ornn Horn as it comes off cooldown. Misses entirely. But the Nexus turrets are under attack right now as the 6-0 and 3 Carmony finally steps forward. An ultimate onto Laxon isn't going to be enough to kill him just yet. It might actually kill him with the Ignite. Deathmark finally hits its mark, but Raynor's kind of sitting in the middle of no man's land versus this extremely buff Carmony, who does get the kill with the Feathers Fly. Only 1 tower remains as 3 members of Elyon Gaming are left to respawn. But with these shorter respawn timers, the map, we got, whoa, that's a huge crit from Carmony. He easily gets a kill. Quickness goes on to Carmony. He might be able to die here with Hottie Williams jumping onto him. Nothing coming back so far. Maverick's a little bit pushed out so far. He can't really help him, but Carmony is so strong right now. He doesn't go down, doesn't even have any lifesteal, but he doesn't need it right now. Maverick trying to dash onto C9 Sneaky. C9 Sneaky is so weak right now, and the dissonance does pop him. There are so many strong members on the side of Schism right now. They might still be able to finish this. There's only 1 tower left, but the death time is still extremely fast here as Raynor is able to pop up just yet. the top lane inhibitor will go down, and it looks like the side of Schism is not just yet ready to finish this off, as our Jerd has to dash out as the unfortunately, Ornhorn does miss. Dash forward from Big Brain mid as well. This fight has not yet ended so far, as Heidi Williams is going to hit a pillar onto Piranha Obsession. The next is actually down to 50% health. I haven't seen it just yet. A stun potentially does not hit onto Heidi Williams. Doesn't look like Piranha Obsession is looking to end the game just yet, as Maverick is still very, very low. He has to dash away. And amazingly, Elyon Gaming holds just barely.
Insane amounts of VM coming from Schism, right? Literally dancing in their base for like 2 minutes, and literally taking everything. They honestly, they could just like wait. They could just push out bot and wait from top and mid minions to end the game if they do answer, or they could just or Elyon can risk losing a triple inhib and actually falling down from that. They don't have, wait, Elyon has 0 towers this game. I just noticed this.
They do have their bot lane tier 3, but they do not have any quote-unquote tier 4s, those Nexus turrets, which means that these super minions are going to be pushing in really far. Oh, headbutt from Maverick right into the pillar. But he's pretty tanky right now. He might be able to walk it out. The blue smite is going to slow him down for now, as well as the Gangplank ultimate. That's a lot of damage coming into him. He doesn't go down so far. The quickness hits up 3, but Carmony does so much damage. He doesn't even need the Orianna ultimate. That was an ace really quickly. I think it was a triple for the side of Carmony. That's going to be game. GG.
So
game
that was
won by the side of Schism. Absolutely dominant fashion. 2-0 for them. I believe that puts them at a 4-3 right now, and unfortunately a 0-7 for the side of Elyon. I actually want to talk about Elyon right now. They are 0-7 halfway through the season. What do they need to do in order to turn it around in the back half of the season?
I have no clue. They're right now, they're the same as CLG. No, not CLG. They're on the same level as Golden Guardians right now for this league. And honestly, I don't see a feasible way coming. They need to either bring in the Korean imports right now, or what they need to do is they actually sit back. They need to review the bots. They need to be like, okay, wait, why did we pick this, this, and this? Maybe if their draft had been better, they could have done better things. Maybe if their rotations were better, they won the game. Maybe the decision-making, shot call, just like these little things that can be easily changed if they actually took the time. So maybe like them going through this game, taking this as a reference point, see how they can do, what they can do to actually better themselves, and move forward from there.
A lot to work on for the side of Elyon Gaming, but to the victors go the spoils. Schism Esports was able to 2-0. That means we're going to have an interview with one of their players, and as my colorcaster, I like to leave it to you to decide who that player is.
Yeah, we're doing loud.
I was utterly overruled there. Nothing of my decision ever goes through. It's way above my pay grade. We are going to be interviewing Laxon this evening because it is my man's birthday. I like interviewing supports because supports are the bot lane insurance. They're the guys who get everything done in the background. They give you the awards. They give you the vision. Laxon, how are you doing, buddy? Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. I'm doing pretty good. Feeling good after those 2 games.
I like them. So what were your thoughts going into like this last game?
Especially this last game, we knew that they had good rotational play and that they liked bush cheesing, but we understood that we had better mechanical play in honestly all 3 lanes, so we really just wanted to focus on giving champs people were comfortable with and just trying to force some leads early.
So but realistically, what inspired you to pick the brand, especially against the Draven and a Rakan?
Draven is one of the easier champs to play Brand into because he telegraphs where he's going to stand, which means that the stun, and you saw it on First Blood, the stun is usually so easy to land. that it just makes the laning phase easy. And if you're really going to bring stuff like Trundle and Gangplank and these champs that want to get larger health pools and sometimes even Rakan, it means that, or even Draven builds a lot of normal health, that brand does a lot better, and it really forces these people off of tanky builds. So if I get fed, I can dictate the build that they're going to have, whether they want it to be that way or not.
What do you guys think of doing now moving forward that you guys are 4-3, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-3.
We're going to take Gaudier off the team, and we're going to stop trolling. We're going to actually play League. Kind of a weird strategy, but I really think that we can get it done. And we're really just going to show this league that, you know, we don't want to be possibly the underdog story and force it that way. We're actually the top competitor, and I'm personally tired of being a mid competitor when we're being written that way. Because as you saw that game, we're not a mid competitor. We're a dominant force that's really just going to take first place in this league.
So a lot of shots fired towards the...
Sir, may I interrupt here? You are benching God Gilius?
Yes, he is a support. I mean, not his support, he's a sub. He'll be a sub. He will show up if it is a crowd favorite. But, you know, we proved today we don't need him. We had a top laner play jungle. We don't need him.
Well, I think...
I'm sorry, real quick. I love that. I really want to let that out there before someone just clips just that part and sends it.
It's already been
close.
It's too late. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There's nothing that's going to come from it.
We're going to title the stream that too. So.
Actually, do you have any thoughts other than giving away potentially trade secrets of who you're subbing in and out? Do you have anything that you want to say to the fans? Do you have anything that you want to say to opponent teams, White Lotus, that you might be coming up for in the next few weeks?
Yeah. We all on SKZ have champs that we are proficient with. You can't ban them all, and whatever lane you want to lose, that's who you're going to not ban in those first three. So pick carefully.
Big words, Lax. And finally, do you have any things that you want to say a little more positively? Do you want to shout out?
I want to shout out my man Evolve. He is a really great team manager. He helps us through these hard times, helps us find people, and he is the light in my darkness and the love of my life.
Excellent words for Evolve. He actually did help us on the productive side as well a little bit earlier in the night when we had a few technical difficulties. Laxon, thank you very, very much for joining us. Congratulations as well on this 2-0, an absolute dominant performance. Again, happy birthday to you, sir. I'm not going to put you on the spot. How old are you?
22.
Okay, you're still pretty young. Happy birthday, sir. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And from the bottom of my heart and the heart of Animosity and the heart of all the production at GXP Championship, thank you all very much for tuning in to this Week 4 matchup between Schism Esports and Elyon Gaming. My friend Animosity, do you have a few last words for the viewers?
Yeah, if you are currently not following the Twitch, hit that follow button, boys. We're bringing games almost every day, so just tune in. Also, the Discord can be provided to you via the Twitch chat. So if you're not in here, what are you? And
why aren't you following any of those social medias at the bottom of the list? You should be. You absolutely, definitely are required to. If you want to give any payouts, that's a joke. That's not true. You'll still get paid out if you're not following social medias, but you should, especially the Twitter. It needs some loving. Thank you all very much for tuning in. My name's Hickory. Beside me was a man of many names. I think his name personally, truthfully, he's hiding under a persona. His name is actually Video Game Donkey. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.